Cheers. I must admit, got water in my coffee mug today. I did not get time to brew a lovely cup of joe, so I'm going to be doing water. I've got my comments open here so I can refer to those and and see what everybody is talking about. Clong Your 7, Gavin Harrison. We've already had a comment, we've already had a pick for someone that you feel has pocket, and I cannot argue with that one. Penny, hello. I've even got my whiteboard here today, and I was going to try and visually show you guys what or how I feel pocket works. Pocket is one of these terms that gets thrown out a lot. I probably say it on every second video on the channel. Gets thrown out a lot, and in the same world as groove, where, you know, what is pocket? How do we define it? Who's got it? And why does that person have it? It's a little bit hard to nail down. Now, I feel like Benny Greb kind of nailed this topic with his DVD, The Art and Science of Groove. I'm assuming everybody watching this channel, I'm praying everybody watching this channel has either heard of Benny Greb or knows who Benny Greb is. I had him on my podcast. That's the NZ Drummer Podcast. Thanks for asking. When did I have Benny Greb on? NZ Drummer Podcast. Let's have a look. Probably a couple of years ago now. Episode 64, which was in 2020. Had him on and we talked a bit about this. And frustratingly, along with a lot of myths, and we've been covering myths as you would have seen on the channel lately, groove and pocket are areas where there's a lot of myths surrounding them. There's always been a thing about you've either got it or you don't. You can't learn it. You can't learn pocket, you can't learn groove. Well, I'd disagree. Benny Greb would disagree. And Benny Greb's teaching materials with the Art and Science of Groove explain why that is completely flawed thinking and how you can actually work on groove. So I recommend that. And my thumbnail for this video, and I've just had Cisco the Kid comment with John Bonham and Bill Ward. Now, the reason why I went with John Bonham for the thumbnail of this video is I feel he's a drummer who's got great pocket, or who has pocket, right? And I feel like it's undeniable. So if you listen to When the Levee Breaks, Fall in the Rain, well, in any recording really, I haven't heard a bad one. Everything is just sitting right. It's just sitting in what we would call the pocket. He's in the groove, he's in the pocket. So that was a pick from me. I'll give you a couple of other favorite drummers. I guess all of the drummers that I love are the ones that I would consider pocket players. So Jeff Porcaro is my number one. Interviewed his brother Steve Porcaro for the channel, so you could check that out as well. And we get all into Jeff and what made him tick as a drummer. So Jeff Porcaro probably at the top of the hill for me personally. Steve Jordan, another top 5 drummer for me. Amazing pocket. I'll try and get into visually why I think Steve Jordan works so good. Matt Chamberlain. And if you guys want a bit of homework, if we get to the end of this video and you still think, I don't know, man, you didn't describe pocket very well. If you want to audibly hear pocket in action, there's a John Mayer tune called Vultures. I've done a cover of it on the channel. Steve Jordan on drums. Have a listen to that. It's rock beat 1. It's basically the first beat you would learn, more or less the first thing you would learn as a drummer. You'd learn to play that beat. It's our C major scale, if you like, if you're a pianist. It's just essential. And the way he plays rock beat 1 in that song, if anyone ever tells you they've mastered rock beat 1, you know, you can say, okay, cool. Can you play it like in Vultures? Let's record it and listen back. No. You can't play it like Steve Jordan. Forget it. So Vultures by John Mayer, Steve Jordan on drums is a good example. One Headlight by the Wallflowers with the great Matt Chamberlain on the drums. Another one where you just listen to it and you think, yeah, that's rock beat 1, but I can't do that. Also important to think about the role of the bass player when it comes to groove and pocket. People often only talk about the drummer, but you cannot play great pocket, you cannot play great time unless you're playing it with someone else. You know, that person influences the time and has a huge effect on the time. So yeah, I'm amazed how the role of the rhythm section in general isn't referred to with pocket. It's always drummers, which is, you know, I've asked for that sort of in the title here. But yeah, obviously you guys have listed Gavin Harrison, John Bonham, Bill Ward, Ray Childress, Vinnie Paul. All of these guys are great drummers, and they're in great bands. They're being helped. Everybody is contributing to the pocket. So yeah. Todd Gaster, Andrew, you rock. Thanks, man. Keith, KC8TCQ, Stuart Copeland. That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one, Keith. He's not a guy I would automatically, pocket wouldn't be the first thing I'd think of when I think of Stuart Copeland. Despite him being, again, one of my favorite drummers. I think of like the fire with Stuart Copeland and pushing the tempo. Don't get me wrong, he's got great pocket as well, but it's not the first thing I'd think of, so I find it really interesting that you mentioned that. Vinnie Paul Axilius, excuse me if I get any names wrong, Axilius Kazuya. Well, Vinnie Paul is sick, man. Pete Sandoval, though. Vinnie has some pocket sounds like in 5 minutes alone. Pete has Santa Claus bag. Not a pocket, that's a big pocket. Metal Buddha Head. Cheers from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, USA. Love the channel. Tommy Lee has pocket gold. Yeah. Yes. Basically, that's going to be a bit controversial, but basically anyone who has recorded hit songs, hit albums, and certainly people who record multiple hit songs and multiple hit albums. Hellblame, Steve Jordan, thousands of recordings of these people. J.R. Robinson, yeah, Jeff Porcaro, Matt Chamberlain, monster pocket. You don't record 1,000 albums and be a professional session drummer by accident, by not having good pockets. So all of them. I love this one. Nope, nope. Ringo Starr equals groove. Yes, 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 yes. Axilius Kazuya, your comment has been hidden by the YouTube algorithm, so I strongly suggest copy it and paste it without the naughty word. It's not my rules, man. It's not my rules. I would love to have your comment out there, but yeah. Springy, how you doing, Springy? Had some great chats with you, man. I'm gonna leave all the obvious ones out and say Mike Borden. I totally agree. Mike Borden from Faith No More, great drummer. Okay, have any of you thought of how you would visually represent what pocket is and how it works? Why some people have good pocket, why some people have bad pocket? Have any of you actually thought about what that looks like on a grid, either on your Pro Tools, you know, on your DAW, or just what would that visually look like? I'm going to try and help you out. So this is how I would think of it. Let's say these lines are the time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't spaced them evenly, it doesn't matter. Hopefully it's just gets you thinking, this is the time moving. Let's say it's, for argument's sake, 120 BPM, right? And that's these are our clicks. Click, 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 click. 120 BPM is going to be a bit faster than that. Where's my metronome? Click, 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 right? And let's say you're playing, let's use rock beat 1. So you're playing this. You're playing along to the click. Already need to start this again. People think if they're playing with a click and they start on the click and they finish the song on the click and they didn't get lost, that they're playing pocket or that they're playing in time. No, that's not the case. Bass, snare, bass, snare. Okay. I don't have the ledger lines, but hopefully you guys can understand this. Now, here's the time, right? So you've laid down this drum part. Let's say this is what an inexperienced drummer might do. You're playing on the click, but you came in a little bit late on this one. The click was actually here. But you're good enough to hear that you came in on the click on beat 2 a little bit late, right? You heard it. You heard it, man. And you can fix this, right? So what does an inexperienced drummer do? They speed up because they were too late. So then what you get is this note comes in before the click. And then by count 4, you're back on the click and you sorted it out. And this little race happens for the whole song, or the whole verse, or the whole chorus, or the whole night. And it adds to this overall feel of not being in the pocket. Does that sort of make sense to you guys? I just thought of this morning. I thought of this visual way to describe it. It would help if I metronomically evenly had my time lined out. Whether you are on the beat or off the beat. Huge. Now I know what you're thinking. Lots of drummers have great pocket and great feel, and they didn't play to click. The example still stands. Just make these bass notes. Right. Now we've got quarter notes on the bass. Bump, 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 bump. Same principle, even without a click. Are you and the bassist like this? Are you locked in together? Or are the drums rushing and coming in a little bit earlier and pushing? Or are the drums dragging and a little bit behind and sort of holding the momentum? A huge part of this is momentum. And what the great drummers do, and this is what I try and instill into my students with basic drum beats. Record them, listen back. Is it grooving? No? Why is it not grooving? Record your band. What does it sound like? Is everything in sync? Are you fighting with the bassist? Or are you working together? It's a big topic. It's a big topic. Stephen Rose, Stuart Copeland again, another one for Stuart Copeland. I've asked you how to do this name before. T3HGIR. I'm going to call you Tigger. Relaxation, confidence, comfort to lay back slightly, and consistency. Consistently. Yeah, I would disagree with you there. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I feel like that is feel like it's a little bit myth territory. Good pocket is when you're behind the beat. I just don't agree with that. I know what you're saying, and it can feel good. I love it. I love a lazy feel. I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying it necessarily has to be that. Omar Shahar, cheers from Israel. You rock. You know what? I had a student bring in some Israeli street food, just to their child's lesson the other day, and they brought me this whole Israeli street food lunch. I think it was probably the best meal I've ever had. Maybe I was really hungry. Damn, it was good. Cisco the Kid. Does pocket have to do with whether you follow bass or guitar? That's a great question. It said Bonham was in the pocket with Page more than Jones. Oh, no. I would disagree with that. This brings up another point. Other instruments can have pocket. People think of the drummer having pocket. Nope. You can be a violinist and have pocket. You can be a keyboardist and have pocket. Guitar. It's horrible playing with a guitarist who doesn't have pocket. It was a really clever question. What was this? Does pocket have to do with whether you follow? Not follow. Not follow. Put it this way. Agree on where you agree the time should feel and where the time should sit. That's a better way of putting it, I think. Not following. Not following. If you follow, you'll tend to drag, you'll tend to, I don't know, you're not committed to your part. If you start playing at a high level, you'll notice other musicians are very, very confident with their time. Very confident. They're not following, I've done shows where it's a whole orchestra. They're not following me on the drums. They've got their own time. They know the time, and if you slip up, they'll let you know what happened. You're dragging, you're rushing. They'll let you know, the good players, the professionals. Everybody is responsible for the time. Everybody is responsible for the pocket. It's not a drum thing. The drummer is as responsible as everyone else. Axelius Kazuya. That's okay, man. I understand. I'm just excited. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to give you a Will Smith slap for using a naughty word. It was the YouTube algorithm that gave you a Will Smith slap. Springy, always with a good comment. The middle bit of a Venn diagram is the pocket where the drummer gels with other musicians. That's a beautiful way of putting it. Joey Jordison, yeah, I would agree. Great pocket. Man, he's one of these guys that totally blew me away on the channel. I think everybody has, to be honest. T3HGIR again, sorry. Tigger, I'm going to call you Tigger. Cisco the Kid, typical the bassist will also lay back with the drummer. Yeah, absolutely. If you're both laying back, great. But I think in Led Zeppelin case, you're right. Page was in the pocket with Bonham and Jones was on the beat. Interesting. Greg Mann. Vinnie Paul from Pantera. I need to get to some Vinnie Paul. I don't know much about Vinnie Paul at all. Nick Menza from Megadeth. Another one I need to get to. Sorry, guys. Steve Murphy, Alan Parsons Project. Seen Austin, is it Austin Powers 1 or 2? I call this one the Alan Parsons Project. I always think of that. Oh my God. Eye in the Sky. Serious Eye in the Sky. I'm a fair weather Alan Parsons fan, but that has to be one of my favorite songs. Oh my God. Marcus Brown. Nate Smith. Clearly. Connor Edwards, Steve Jordan has amazing groove pocket. Yes, listen to Steve Jordan. Tigger, I learned how to play on the beat with good feel first from Neil Peart. Neil Peart, a very on the beat player for me. Yes, he's on. He's on top of the beat. I don't think I've ever heard him sitting back. Certainly not dragging. And that's a good thing. That serves their music, you know. It wouldn't serve other music. It definitely serves their music. And who knows, maybe in a different situation, he would sit back to serve the music. John Fishman. Don't know John Fishman. Excuse my ignorance. Is he from the band Fish? This is a cult band, isn't it? You know, it's got that, one of these bands with that cult following. Anderson .Paak. Make-A-Wish Foundation. Anderson .Paak has insane pocket. Yeah. Sledge One Swede. This is a big call. Just compare the pre and post drum machine eras and you got it all figured out. Ooh, it's getting tasty up in here. Patrick McNellis. Hey Patrick, how are you? Metal Buddha Head. What about Phil Rudd? Phil Rudd, I've probably said this so many times. You know, I've listened to a lot of pro drummers. I've talked to a lot of pro world famous drummers. Phil Rudd is known in the scene, in the industry, as having one of the best pocket feels of all time. This is what is so important to me, is letting people understand that simple drumming is not easy. Simple, easy, two different things. Phil Rudd's easy. Back in Black, I learned that when I had done 3 lessons. Really? Let's hear the recording, because you didn't. You thought you did. You played the notes, but it didn't sound anything like Back in Black. Tigger, pocket is most associated with behind the beat playing. Yes, now I do agree with you on that. I personally don't agree that is pocket, or that's how you define pocket. I know what you're saying, and I agree. You're right on that, but not dragging. Yeah, you're right. Metal Buddha Head, Gabe Valdez. Sugarfoot is a great choice. Pocket, yeah, absolutely. Tigger, okay, there's a few conversations going on here. I feel most comfortable on the beat. You know what? You know, this is an interesting one for you guys. And thank you so much to someone who's contributed a donation to the channel. I have to get Connor another book. Who was that? Was that you, Patrick? Stop it. No, go on then. Here's an interesting one for you. And I know this from recordings. I was always a rusher. Now, most people rush when it comes to drums or playing music. David Hungate from Toto said 99% of drummers, musicians, rush. There's a nervousness, there's a tension, there's a, you want to do really good, you want to play real, all this stuff is adding to a tension in your body and your head, and especially when you go and play live, that manifests itself, bit of adrenaline, and the time feel going up and up and up and up. It sounds really amateur. I'm just being really honest here. It sounds really amateur. I can hear when people are rushing. You can hear when the song's too fast because the vocal phrasing is all messed up. They start, you know, they can't get the words out properly. The bassist is rushing. And it's a hard spiral to get out of. A really bad habit that I see a lot of covers bands do is, oh, no one's dancing, let's speed it up. Okay. So playing the songs too fast is going to make them sound better and get everyone dancing. No. No. This is not to say you can't play a fast song in the pocket. It's all about the time and place and the style of the music. Travis Barker, great pocket. Stephen Rose, as a bass player, I dread playing with a drummer that plays behind the beat. You're onto it, man. There's a lot to be said for literally just playing in time. Honestly, just play in time. You need a relationship with the bassist that feels right. If you are a drummer who always has to play behind the beat, think of it like this. You're bringing the time back. You're sitting a little bit back. Let's say you're with a very professional bassist. Like, who is this person? Stephen Rose. I'm going to say he's a very professional bassist. That bassist is trying to do his job, right? So what's he going to do? You've sit back a little bit. He's going to go bang right on top of that. Again, the drummer, inexperienced drummer, is not going to feel confident. It's going to sit back a little bit more. Bang. Professional bassist sits right on the groove. You know what happens? Over the course of a 3-minute song, you probably slow down 20 BPM and you end up in this horrible drawl, which is awful. Here we go. Keep it going. Marcus Brown. Groove is how you play the notes and the space in between. Standing O. Standing O. I remember reading an interview with Brad Wilk, the Rage Against the Machine drummer, and this was a long time ago. Before I was a professional drummer, I was a drummer. I was a fan of drums. I was not playing a lot, and I was not good. And Rage Against the Machine were one of my favorite bands as a kid. And I read this interview with Brad Wilk, and he said basically exactly what you just said. And I'm just being really honest with you guys. I remember thinking, what a load of space in between the notes. Come on, man. Like, what is this? Like, trying to sound clever? Space in between the notes. It actually took me a long time to understand what he was talking about. Of course it's the space in between the notes. When you've been teaching for a long time, you see this every day. You see students who can play the notes. The notes aren't the problem. That's how they're spaced out. It's a massive bing when you realize this. It answers why some drummers just sound good. John Bonham, my thumbnail guy, he just sounds good. He starts playing the beat, it sounds good. Straight away, doesn't even need the bass or the rest of the band. Cisco the Kid, owner of a lonely heart. Yeah, man. Is that Bill Bruford on that one? That is a banger. Tigger. That's a whole different subject. The whole band having good time. Yeah. Check out, I did an interview with, this is all about the interviews today. I did an interview with, oh my Lord, Tim Akers in the smoking section. John Hammond, the drummer. You want to see some serious pocket in action? Nashville session legend, John Hammond. Check out my interview with him and check out his group, which Tim Akers actually passed away, RIP. Tim Akers in the smoking section. They do a cover of Uptown Funk, which will blow your hair away, like it did with mine. I had hair before I heard that song. The pocket, frightening, undeniable. Sean Kinney has great pocket. Brian Yates, yeah. Have you seen my wood drum cover? I don't have the Sean Kinney pocket. I'm playing the notes, I'm playing in time with the song. Don't sound like Sean Kinney. Good example of a pocket. I'm not a musician. Axelius Kazuya, again, I'm not a musician, but what I feel pocket is like a repetitive sound which has a grabby feel or groove to it. In fact, I think guitar and When Levy Breaks is in the pocket. Absolutely. Good call. Stephen Rose again. The conversation's a bit of back and forth. There's a bit of Herd versus Depp going on with Stephen Rose and Tigger. Although I don't mind it playing behind the beat, it just makes me nervous. Yeah. Vinnie Paul, great pick for Metal Groove. Connor Edwards, yeah. Steve Jordan, absolutely. Andy Thompson, my band teacher used to say some people are born with natural ability. Man, you are triggering me now. I've lost your comment. It's scrolled past it. Andy Thompson, my band teacher used to say some people are born with natural music ability, but anyone can learn to have musical ability. Yikes, I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree with that. Check out my Mythbust session. We did a Mythbust session on talent. Yeah, that's a very, very odd thing for a band teacher. I mean, the band teacher hasn't seen you from when you were born. You know, they might have, at the earliest, seen you, I don't know, 6 or 7. You've grown up in an environment. Some houses don't have any music going on. Some houses don't have musician parents. Some do. I get students who have never played on a drum kit before. Both their parents are really good gigging musicians. What a coincidence. The kid's really good at drums straight away with very little effort. It's environment. It's environmental. Sledge One Swede. Yoyoka is a young musician with great pocket. Absolutely. Polo, hello. Perhaps Jeff Sipe may be of interest. I don't know Jeff Sipe. Oh, I got it right with Fish. Yeah. What was it? John Fishman. Okay. Thomas Hawk or Thomas Hawk. Yeah. Good example of someone who's got great pocket despite playing extreme heavy stuff, but he's still got pocket. Still in the pocket. Patrick, sending his love from Texas and a contribution to the channel. Thank you so much. Mike Portnoy, Simon Gaudreau, I'm late, but Mike Portnoy would be, Mike Portnoy, say it properly, would be a great pick. Yep, great pocket. Dimitar Uzunov. Hi Andrew, greetings from Bulgaria. Love your content and reactions. I would love to hear a reaction of Portnoy again from his new project. I'll have to get on that. Thank you for that. Hey, this is good. Tigger. One of the best tips for not rushing I heard was from Billy Cobham. Play like you are talking with friends. A drum fill is just another sentence. No need to speed up. That is very smart. Music is a language. It is a conversation on the stage. It's very evident when you see a jazz gig because it's all improvised. It's just a conversation happening. Whereas I guess a rock gig is like it's almost like acting, isn't it? Like you've gone over this dialogue many a time and you're trying to perfect the flow of it. Really interesting. Yeah. So we've all talked with people who talk over you, right? Maybe you're trying to make a point and they just come in. Or they steal your point and start talking like it's theirs. This is what it's like to play with musicians who don't have pocket or understanding of their role. The importance of empathy in pocket and understanding your role, huge. It's terrible. But it's such a big part of it. And I think that is part of why there are so many. This is going to be, again, a bit controversial. I'm getting controversial in my old age. There's a lot of really, really good professional working female bassists in Auckland. And there's not a lot of professional working female drummers. there are some. There's not a lot. And I've always wondered about this, and I feel like there's an empathy part to this. Those female bassists, for whatever reason, I don't want to make too many assumptions. It's like they know their role, and they just play their role with great empathy. Whereas, you know, there's nothing worse than playing with a bassist who's like slapping and like, I don't know. A lot of people do think of slapping. That is the benchmark. Whoa, he slapped. Can you slap? Do you play bass? Oh, can you slap it? Can you play higher ground? Lord, oh Lord. All right, back to your guys' comments. The lasagna. I feel like pocket is generally associated with funk or funky drumming. Yeah, I agree. Although I agree with your statement, and I don't agree that that's right. I think of Nathaniel Townsley or David Garibaldi when I think pocket. Absolutely, those guys have got pocket, and a lot of people, again, another myth, think that you only have pocket in funk. It can be very apparent in funk and very easy to see in funk, but it's not only funk. But I know what you're saying. I have skipped a few comments, sorry, but I'll keep going. Eric Moore, without a doubt, a monster pocket. Eric Moore is a good example of chops and pocket. One of the big issues people get with pocket is fills. Fills. So let's say we're playing our rock beat one, and then we play a really, really simple fill, and a rather boring fill. Some collection of 16th notes. And don't you love it when you run out of space at the end? So you're playing to a click, or you're playing in your group. These are the bass parts, perhaps. Boom, tat, boom, tat, ba da 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 boom, tat. When you get back to the beat, did anything change? Because it shouldn't have. Even though you went into a different subdivision here, the time cannot move when you get back to here. And I was guilty of this when I first started doing professional music theatre. Here I am in the orchestra pit. I'm trying to follow the conductor, and I'm reading all this whole book of music, and I'm playing with really, really good pro bassists. Simple groove, simple fill. Come out, I've tempo reset. I've reset the tempo slightly. I'm not talking much, a little bit. I'm still on the click. If there was a click, I'm still on the click. It's not like I'm not going to be on the click. It's not going to be that bad, but I might just shift a little bit and then settle. Maybe it settles by the second beat or the third beat, or maybe in the next bar. You've done your fill and you're back on. And when you play with really good players, as I said before, they tell you. And I remember one bassist pulling me aside and he's like, man, you know, there's a bit in the song where the kick and the snare drops out and the hi-hat keeps going. You're dropping tempo, man. You're dropping a few BPM in there. It's like, ooh, okay. Useful feedback. I wasn't feeling it. I recorded one of the nights and listened back, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's kind of right. What else we got? Frank Beard and Steve Smith are two more that I really appreciate. Absolutely. Axelius Kazuya, yep, simple drumming to have a pocket. Has to have a repetitiveness, although a spontaneity to it, yep. That has to do with a great musician, but also a fan's spark to it. My one for that is One Headlight. Matt Chamberlain on the drums, one of the greatest drummers alive today. One Headlight by the Wallflowers, check it out. Daniel Gunderson, I would say Donald DJ Johnson Jr. of, your comment's gone. I was getting into that. I hate it when it does this. Donald DJ Johnson Jr. of Cronagbin is the definition of pocket. Same as Questlove. Yeah. Chris Dave, Nate Smith. Cheers from Norway. Yeah, all great drummers. Stephen Rose. I will give you an example of Black Hole Sun. Yes. Have you seen my cover of Black Hole Sun? Check it out. Hard song. That's really slow. Slow songs are hard. Jason Bruford with King Crimson. Okay, we're getting to the point now where I'm not going to be able to read all the comments, but I really appreciate all the comments. I will go back and read them. Stephen Rose is digging on Eric Moore. Luis Sagredo Gomez from Chile. Great, Andrew. Bravo. Hola, Luis. Mucho gusto. Springy. I think Alan White was on Owner of a Lonely Heart. Stephen Rose, Vinnie Caluta. Yeah. Vinnie Caluta, chops and pocket. The total baggage. Yeah, hopefully my visual example made sense for you guys. Try and think of another way of doing this. I think a big part of pocket is that relationship between the bassist, especially the bassist and the drummer, and the whole band, and where things are sitting, right? What a really professional drummer will do, a session drummer, maybe they're playing with different bassists constantly, maybe more than one bassist per day in the studio. They will adjust to the player and the situation. Most people only have the headroom to play their feel, to play their pocket, to play their groove. Most drummers, probably myself included. I mean, I can adjust it a little bit, not a huge amount. With me, you're going to get what you get. What people don't understand with the Hal Blaines of this world, with the Jeff Porcaros of this world, Steve Jordan, all the great session players, they can subtly adjust the groove. So let's again look at this as a visual thing. You've got your eighth notes. You've got your eighth notes there, and this is the click. That's the time moving. That's perfectly in time, these clicks. So what the great players will do is, if the song requires it, or the music's going to benefit from it, they can play this note a little bit late, which is kind of what Tigger was referring to before. Not only can they place it a little bit late, a little bit after the beat, they can consistently, which someone else referred to, they can consistently do that for an entire song. That requires a lot of headroom, a lot of groove and pocket control, which most of us mere mortals, even if we think we can do it, we probably can't. It's really difficult. Stuart Copeland's the other way. He's on the other side of the beat. He's over here. He's almost on it. He's pushing though. He's pushing the whole time, which gives the music this forward momentum. You tell a group of like college age kids to sit back on the groove, play a little bit lazier, sit back on the groove, they're just going to slow down. I've seen it myself. It's very, very hard to do. Marcus Brown, Benny Gribb's The Art and Science of Groove is a great watch. Did you see me at the start of the video? Yeah, I talked about that. He explains how to relax and breathe while drumming, which I think is essential to having good groove. It's so difficult, especially if you've been playing drums for a long time or playing an instrument for a long time and you're not used to breathing through parts. It's like the instrument is not part of you yet. You're separate to the instrument and you're fighting it. It sounds hippy-dippy. You need to be at one with your instrument, absolutely. And the great players can just relax and settle into things very quickly. Okay. I'm gonna try and get up to date. I'm gonna skip forward to some of the more recent comments. Another one from Chile. Porcaro, Phillips, Moore, Greb, Gartzka, and other pocket gods to me. Estoy de acuerdo. Springy, D Light said it well. Groove is in the heart. Dick Atorium. Long train running by Doobie Brothers. The bass drum and bassist lock in immaculately. Doobie Brothers, what an underrated band. Absolutely killer. Cole's Towing. Not sure if someone said it, but you say pocket, I think Bernard Purdie. Bernard Pretty Purdie, the hitmaker. Played on Black Cow and Home at Last on the Steely Dan album, Asia. Pocket King. He would, they told this story on the Steely Dan documentary, where Bernard Purdie, because they used a lot of different drummers, a lot of different musicians. Even on that one album, they used different musicians. He came in for his sessions. Apparently he put like a sign next to his drum kit. Congratulations, you've hired the hit maker. Think about that. Think about the confidence. I mean, you might think, what? That's ridiculous. Think about what's behind this. Years, decades of hits. And you've got a drummer who is so outrageously confident. It's really great to play in that situation. You know, if you are recording an album, you want your drummer to have a bit of swag like that. A timid drummer, I don't think that ever works. You got to be committed to the groove, committed to the pocket, and committed to the time. This is an interesting one. Dick Artorium, entire Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. Ha! It's the Bee Gees. Yeah, have a listen. Have a listen to the pocket. Those songs aren't mega hits for nothing. They've got great pocket. Ash Drums. I've meticulously studied John Bonham my entire life and play all of his parts close to perfect. Let's see it. I'd love to see some of your videos, man. But hearing myself back, it seems like I push more like Copeland and sit back like Bonham. Why? It's a great question. You know, I get these kind of questions when my students start recording themselves, or if I record the students and we listen back. You don't know what you sound like, which is a really hard concept to understand. You only understand it when you record yourself. You don't know what you sound like. People who record all the time, they get a very good idea. Engineers, I find, are very good at it. Engineers and producers often make good drummers because they can almost sit outside their body and their head and watch and listen to what's going on. It takes a lot of practice. It's very similar to singing. You know, you get people who sing in the shower or sing in the car or sing on, you know, American Idol, and they don't hear that they're out. They think they're in tune, and they're not. And you could go your whole life thinking that you sing like a bird. and you don't. It's the same on drums. It's a really weird one. I remember one of the first sessions I did, recorded a whole heap of songs in a couple of hours. One of them was a shuffle. Shuffles, any pro drummers out there will know that shuffles are notoriously hard to make sound good. And I recorded this one of the songs, which was a shuffle. Went back in the control room and I nailed it. Again, started and finished on the click, nailed it. Had to. I finished on the click, didn't I? Finished in the right place. Walk into the control room and the engineer spins around on his chair and he goes, yeah, shuffles are hard, man. Oh. And I was like, what is this guy on? What did you smoke for breakfast, man? Play it back. I killed it. And then he plays it back and you go, who's that? What is this? And oh, is this from yesterday or something? No, it's you, dude. Oh. Okay, you're right. I can't play shuffles. It's so weird. If you take anything away from today, one of the most powerful and proven ways to improve on your instrument, especially drums, record yourself. It's massive. It is one of the golden secrets to improving. Record it, listen back. Record the next day, listen back. You don't have to listen to a whole practice session. Listen to a bit. You'll get a good idea how things are sitting. It's bizarre. Sometimes things sound really good that you thought you didn't nail in the moment. Other things are just garbage that you thought were easy. Sometimes you're behind for like a whole song, which you did not notice, which you didn't feel at the time, you couldn't hear it. Sometimes you're ahead for a whole song. It is crazy. And if you do enough of that, your respect for the professional, for the session guys, will just go through the roof. They're just turning it on like a tap. You know, hey, are you free at 11 to 1 to record these 5 songs? Yep, cool, come on in. Send you the songs the night before, go in and lay them down. Boom, done. It's amazing. It's like a magic trick. Tigger, I record phone audio raw. I don't envy drummers that get studio editing, quantizing, sample replacement for their professionally filmed drum cover. I'd rather earn the skill. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you notice on my drum covers it's one shot. There's no edits. It's just one take, top to bottom. No ridiculous editing. Tigger again, shuffles took me years, closer to 10 years. Yep, easy. A good shuffle, yes. Can you come into my teaching studio today and learn how to play a shuffle? Yes, you will learn how a shuffle works. I could teach you a shuffle and you will leave having been able to play technically a shuffle in 30 minutes. And then you start the journey over the next years or decades of making that shuffle sound good, making it sound like it's in a pocket. Keith, one thing I learned when playing covers live, don't get locked into the studio recording as the other members may have a different sense of timing. Keith, my man, you are coming in with the heavy stuff and I 100% agree. You cannot play transcriptions at a covers gig. It does not work like that. It can depend on how good the band is, but still, everyone's going to have their own unique time feel. And you need to be able to communicate in the moment with what is happening on the stage. What happened yesterday, listening on Spotify, does not matter. You're on the stage now. Are people dancing? That for me is a covers gig, and this comes back to groove and pocket. Are people dancing? No? Why not? Is it something I'm doing? Is it the band? Because at this point, if I'm doing a dance floor gig, a club, wedding, corporate event, I'm shocked if people are not dancing. I'm surprised. I want to know what is going on. Is the sound not right? You know, that's all that matters to me. I don't care about the notes. I don't care about how many linear fills can I fit into this song, or I'm going to try this and the, no. All I care about is the dance floor when it's that type of gig. And I have no idea what's happened to my voice. Ash Drums, yeah, I agree, Andrew. Recording yourself gives you insight into how you can adjust. A metronome always helps. I think my natural feel is to push. I just have that kind of energy. Yeah, I was saying before, and I totally lost track of what I was talking about. I was a pusher. I was a rusher for years and years and years. I started recording myself a lot, playing. Hundreds of drum covers on this channel, by the way. And I noticed real quick that I rush. So I sought to fix that out with recording and listening back and adjusting over years. And I've ended up probably being a little bit of a dragger. I've probably overcorrected it over time. So I tend to sit back a little bit. And again, people might say, oh, you sit back, you got a good feel. No, it doesn't sound good. I've heard myself on recordings where I was sitting back and it's like, nah. It's great when you want to sit back and it suits the music. It's not great as just a general trait. You want control over that stuff. It's all about the control. Stimba, did you do ticks and leeches? Ticks and leeches. Licks and Tricks by Kai Hato. No, I didn't. I didn't even read your comment, did I? I just automatically went to Tool. Keith again with the knowledge, man. For a time I was playing with 3 different bands, almost identical playlists, but way different styles. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be versatile. That's huge. We've got some really good comments here, guys. I am going to have to leave. We've hit the hour mark, and I think any more than an hour is really testing your time and mine, because I've got to edit tomorrow's video and get about my day and get about my teaching. I'm a maniac. My schedule at the moment, I tell you, is insane. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a really, really big topic. I don't know if my visual thing worked for you guys. This whole concept of here's the click or the tempo up here, and here is where the drummer or the bassist or the guitar or the vocalists can have pocket. Are you sitting right here? Boom, 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 boom. Are you on? Are you ahead? Are you rushing? Are you pushing the music? Might sound good, might not. Depends. These are the micro adjustments good musicians make. Are you behind? Is it creating an awkward flamming effect? Or is it fattening up the groove and making it sound really good? I don't know. What does the music require? I've done big professional shows with really good musicians. I've done big professional shows with, I don't know how I can put it nicely, with people who had all the chops, who had all the knowledge, all the chops, play anything, and it just sounded bad. They didn't do what was required for that gig in terms of the time feel. It's hard to explain how awkward it is. We're talking fine margins too. It wasn't like this person could not play. They could play a lot. Too much probably. But could not get the feel right. They couldn't feel it. Other people didn't notice. I think overall the crowd probably wouldn't notice. It's not like it would sound bad. It's just not. It's like, oh, how was the band last night? Yeah, they were pretty good. As opposed to, how was the band last night? Oh my God, they were incredible. That is the difference. And boy, do you feel it. Do you feel it? That's why I just do backflips when I see somebody like Sugarfoot on the channel, or whenever I hear Steve Jordan, it's like a miracle to me that anybody can play the basic rock beats and make them sound like that. It's a miracle. I gave you guys some song examples at the beginning. I will have to leave. Here's some song examples if you want how I feel about Pocket and what songs typify it. Steve Jordan on Vultures by John Mayer. Steve Jordan, if you dig around on the internet, he played with John Mayer After Midnight. The song After Midnight, Chick Corea on keyboard on that one. It was on like some talk show. They start the song. Steve Jordan's like so cool. He's got like big leather jacket, bling, glasses. The whole band is just like, oh, like dying. You got Chick Corea turning around at you going, oh my God. That is Pocket. That's a good one to check out. No, anything by Jeff Porcaro is ridiculous. What he plays on Rosanna. What? How do you do that? One take. I'm going to talk to Steve Porcaro about that. One take. What's another one? Matt Chamberlain. Matt Chamberlain, One Headlight is the song by the Wallflowers. Put on some really good headphones and listen to that song. Let me know what you think on that, actually. Hit me in the comments if you do take my advice and listen to that song with a good set of headphones and just think, wow, this is Rock Beat 1. Rock Beat 1. And you know, when you get students who say, oh, I can do that, you know, hey, and I'll say, hey, can we, let's go over this page. We've already done that. Don't make me put one headlight on. We'll put one headlight on and we'll try and sound like that. That's where you want to take it. Not just, can I get through the bar? Can I make it sound good? And this is a lot of control and Pocket. And with that, I am going to have to say goodbye and get about my day. Thank you so much for joining in. We've had some brilliant comments. Wow. We need to do more topics like this, I think. More terminology type stuff. Really, really good one today, guys. I really appreciate it. And just to let you know, I will be getting, when my mic for my phone gets fixed or replaced, I will be getting back into live lessons as well. And doing some, mainly practice pad shred, I think. Getting you guys going on some good practice pad habits. And yeah. Again, my 5th goodbye for the session. Take care. Love you all. Thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. And I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Nice one.